keeping tabs on what's happening with U.S. Treasuries across the globe. We have several countries definitely dumping the U.S. Treasuries. Now, the reason and the issue behind this, not clear, as there's speculation as to why each and every country is doing what it's doing. This is why I always revert back to calling this the world stage and their theaters of war and everything else they have going on out here. But in terms of this, in the U.S. stocks, what we're seeing here is the dumping of these treasuries. They're liquidating a record amount of U.S. stocks. Now, when you're doing this together with other countries, this can definitely affect whoever you're trying to hone in on. This time, it's the U.S. and the U.S. dollar. The stock market, the treasuries, everything affected here as it's being dragged down. Now, when we take a look at who the two biggest players in terms of buying U.S. treasuries are, it is Japan and China, of all countries. So they're out here trying to show everyone that this is some kind of tariff war and on the verge of this big war with China, but yet they are vital out here as to what was going on. If they really wanted to start dumping in like super mass amounts in a real war type of atmosphere, just liquidate everything, then you would see a massive shift, but we haven't seen that. They've started to liquidate, but it's been smaller chunks. Now, Russia stepped up. They did the same thing. Saudi Arabia stepped up and surprised a lot. They did the same thing in dumping U.S. treasuries. So this has happened across the board. And if there ever was a plan to try to bring down the dollar and usher in something new, well, you would start to see signs, I would believe, something similar to what we're seeing here, where you see moves being made across the board by multiple countries that affect it all in all. And I foresee a lot of other moves coming into play. Big dumps that will really start to push things into motion. But it's all about timing at this point. And it's all about the global business. You have to remember that a lot of these countries are taking in goods from the United States. So just cutting them off, of everything would leave them hurting, especially if they're trying to take in a majority of their food or majority of whatever it is. If they're getting it from the United States, they're going to have to make sure that base is covered and that they're getting that somewhere else, or else it's just not going to be feasible for them. So what I'm noticing here is there's a lot of these world leaders meeting up, dressing up in purple robes, wearing pins in the same location, and doing a lot of secretive talk behind the curtain, and then the mainstream media just tells you what they want. I'm here telling you, you better beware of world leaders selling you all out, through and through, every country, to usher in a true world order where they all continue to keep their seat, keep their power, or the ones in charge of a country that collapses, they'll just flee into hiding. And it all be part of a plan to usher in a new system. I've talked about the old system, how they ushered in the fiat money system, and how we're on the cusp of them trying to introduce something else here on this world stage and tracking it globally. Every bit of it. But in terms of this here, this is the latest, and there's a lot more here at this link, and there's more charts showing exactly what's going on in terms of the treasuries and the holdings between each country. You can see Japan's there, even has Russia's in here as well. So I will update as things change in connection with this. I'll leave a link below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest. It's been Dabu7. Peace.